Alvin Plantinga has said that philosophy is just thinking hard about something. I like that definition very much. That means that all of us who think hard about certain questions are in fact philosophers. And if we do our thinking from a Christian perspective, then we are Christian philosophers. I see no reason whatsoever for divorcing one's philosophy from one's Christian theology. As a Christian, I believe that there are multiple sources of knowledge about reality. One of these would be rational intuition and reflection. Another would be the deliverances of the physical sciences. Another would be divine revelation. And I see no reason at all to think that the philosopher has to bracket some of the sources of knowledge that he recognizes when he does his philosophy. And so, as Plantinga has emphasized, as Christians, we should approach these philosophical questions from a Christian point of view. And as such, we will have a very different perspective on some of these questions than will the atheist or the naturalist. Just to give one example, in my work on the reality of abstract objects, and by that I mean objects like mathematical entities, like numbers, sets, and functions, or possible worlds, propositions, properties, and so forth. In approaching the question of whether or not these abstract objects exist, I think it's vitally important that we ask ourselves, is God the sole ultimate reality? If he is, as the Bible teaches, then that means that everything is ultimately grounded in God. Everything is ultimately created by God apart from God himself. And therefore, it is impossible, I think, for the Christian philosopher to be a Platonist or a realist about these abstract objects. The traditional Platonistic, non-theological point of view on these objects is that they are eternal, uncreated entities which exist independently in their own right. And that is a viewpoint which is fundamentally at odds with Christian theology, which says that God is the sole ultimate reality, and therefore everything else must be created by him if it exists at all. And so this will be an example of a profound metaphysical question on which it makes a big difference whether or not you approach it as a Christian or merely as a secularist. And as a Christian philosopher, I want to approach these philosophical questions from an overtly Christian point of view and work out an answer that will be consistent with my theological view of the world.